All 9 sump boards that we took down to Florida, all done, one compilation video. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks Roy. Thanks Richard, Necromacho Entertainment. And welcome to another episode of... Most of the time I don't go into this much detail and in-depth making a map grid and things like that. I usually just like grabbing stuff. But for this one, since I was actually making it for a time frame and I wanted Roy, Richard, and the rest of the guys down in Pensacola to be somewhat involved and see what they were getting into and hopefully get excited about it, which they did. I wanted to have this going on in the videos where we worked off this map. What I didn't realize was going to happen was adding this map section into my videos was going to enhance my knowledge of how to make videos. I would really like to hear some comments as to whether you like this part. I got better as the videos were going on. There was, well, a lot of things that enhanced the channel going forward, at least in my availability to do videos. Things like lighting, camera focus, camera angle. My whole editing process in general was changed because of this. I had a lot of fun doing this and I'm glad I did it. So in this one, we did some pretty extensive foam cutting. I raised the tiles up about 2 inches off, 1.5 to 2 inches. I didn't really measure what this was or how thick this was, but I wanted it up so that the sump could be collapsed. The next stage, of course, is to glue the tiles down. I usually do this with PVA. For those that don't know, that piece of material I have on the bottom there is plexiglass, usually due to replace windows and things like that with plastic in your house. Works as a great medium, especially works good for this. It's nice, light, doesn't warp, will take any kind of glue. You can, of course, if you want to sand this down, just to scratch it up. It does help to a certain extent. For most terrain projects, I haven't found that it's that critical. So if you miss that step, it's not a real big deal. Of course, now we're going to be doing the other tiles here a little bit, and with this has to end up coating the foam in PVA glue. What this does is when you're setting the tiles, like I am right here, it allows you to do this with other glues. The PVA will hold the regular Games Workshop tiles down, but not to the extent that, it's going to take a lot of battering. So here we are, we're in the cutting phases. I know everybody loves to see it when I do this. Yeah, I got nothing for you. You just kind of do it and mess it up a couple of times and then use all the other stuff as part. But we'll look at that for a second. Okay, a little word about cutting the tiles. I have done it so many times now that I don't even think twice, but I do understand about the cost of these things. Again, I think I said it in this video right here, this is my hobby. I'm going to cut up whatever it is, whatever shape I need it to be, whatever idea I have going on. If it doesn't work, well, then, it just goes in the pile and it's a learning experience. Now, I know not everybody has the available funds or anything else to be able to do all of that. I get it. Not that I really have it either. But, this, again, my hobby. Okay, so, that being said, now we're going to go into detailing these tiles. Taking the clippers to it. I think when we were in Florida, that was one of the bigger things that Richard was somewhat, just impressed is a word. I don't think it's the right word, but just how I don't even hesitate to even go into these things now. That's just using things. Here I am taking a lighter to it. I think it's fun. There's a lot of other people that probably would be having horror, nightmares about doing things like this. It's the immersion, everybody. It really, really is. This is just the vision that's in my head, and I'm doing what I think I need to do to get it there. I don't think anybody should hesitate on things like this. It's what makes all of this fun. Now we're going to be going into the decorating and building, my favorite part. Textures and everything that I use. I know you can use texture bases, and there's all kinds of products that they put out there. I use too much of it. I've used most of those things already, and it's never quite enough, which is why I adapted my PVA glue and sand mixture. I also use other dry substances. This is all just a work in progress. This is my journey going forward with all of this stuff. I really think that we get a down and dirty look, what I think the Underhive should be looking like. I hope that people agree with me. I'm just going to keep plowing forward with things that I know I can do, and that's just kind of how this is going to be going. Cutting apart. I just do what I have to do. I can't say it any other way. I wish more people would as well. There's so much fear that goes in because of the cost of these things, and then you don't quite get it right, or you do something that somebody else tells you to do. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. There's 100 ways you can build these tiles. Anyways, I'll let you watch the rest of this build here. title says there, sumps and sanding textures. Again, PVA glue with tissue paper on top, and then coat it again in PVA glue. When we get to the coloring of it, I use another layer of PVA glue, so there's, you know, a lot of glue all over the place. But yeah, it's just basic. I'm learning different techniques on how to use sand in a kind of a liquid medium that dries hard. Any ideas anybody has or anything, just put them in the comments. I will try it out. I will video it. This was an awful lot of fun making all of this on all these tiles. I really love the way this board turned out. So in this set of videos, I kind of was testing the water with some of the filming here. I didn't do an awful lot of painting scenes in almost any of these videos. This is the one that I found that had some airbrush footage on it. A lot of it was oil painting. I'm a real proponent of the oil painting. Okay, so this one we are making enough sump coloring for all 9 tiles. Now, if I were coating every one of those tiles, I'd probably, make more of this. But I figured it's just PVA glue, a little bit of water, and some craft paint mix. Yeah, and then we coat it after black prime. As I alluded to earlier, I am a huge proponent of oil paints. I really just love the reductive qualities of them, the filtering availabilities, just everything that you can do with them. I think people that don't give themselves a chance to try to use this method do miss out a little bit. If anything, just the ease of work. Most of these tiles can be just set up with a good, hour and a half of work, and you're almost completely weathered. It was so exciting that when Adepticon came around, now Roy from Necromacho came up and he was staying at my house, and I figured this would be a really neat time to just introduce him to some of the oils and just how they work. Because there's a lot of talk. I don't want to say bad about anybody making any statements about anything. But yeah, oils kind of get a little bit of a bad rap from what I have found and garnered, due to the fact that you use mineral spirits, which does smell. I think I had a couple of comments of people going, yeah, you can get odorless mineral spirits. Yes, I know. It still smells like mineral spirits. It's just not quite as in depth. If you get a fan going, for the most part, it's not a really big deal. Now, you can also use oil-based paints not quite as thin as I do. That extends the dry time. You can also use enamels. In this one here, we do a pretty much start to finish speed up of exactly how I'm using the oils. You can see the piece darken up as we work, and that just filters in as it dries. And here we end with the pigment powders. This is, of course, to taste. Some people like the way I do it, some people don't. They seem it's a little sloppy, but this is the way I like to do it. This was a great project. I'm so glad you guys joined me watching. Thank you so much, and as always, please like and subscribe.